What is up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video. I'm on the infomercial hour. I'm still up. So I decided to do a quick play by play for you all. Um, Let me see. I know it's probably nobody going to be up. So a couple of people that y'all never sleep might see this live, but um, yeah, we're gonna just get it going. So anyway, video I got for you all is from the Lapeef show, Fair Use. And pretty much what you have is you have Courtney as well as a comedian. He's been on TV, stuff like that. And well, obviously the title is provocative, so I want to hear what they have to say. Um and there's really that. So, one interesting thing about Courtney, real quick, is she just had an appearance on Kevin Samuel's show a couple of shows ago. And, it's interesting. Pink Book, which is somebody, shout out to Don Calypso for referring her to me, is basically she's kind of like, I don't even want to compare her to Jessica X, but what she's been doing is she's kind of like calling out the panders a little bit. At least on this video, and there was a little back and forth on that on her particular channel as far as the comment section on that. Even Courtney got involved with a few comments. Yeah, what's up, Roger? In fact, this is interesting because I know what you kind of said about, you gave your opinion on them in the background. So this is going to be real interesting for you to hear this. Now, I have full disclosure. I've actually not seen none of this video. What I wanted to do is I said, hey, I kind of started getting it started for the first couple of seconds, and he's doing like the intro. And I said, you know what? Let me actually do this as a play-by-play. That's going to be better than me just talking about it after. And then that way, some of you all that may be new to my channel, you all can kind of get an idea as to how I think. Also, this gives me a way of kind of looking at some of these
This is good, family. This is
some of these brands, and these, I like to get an idea of what these how these videos are going to come out, when I do different things. So let's see, let me get this going. This branding, learn how to work this a little bit better. So here we go. Take the word off. We can do a background here, background here. See how this stuff will come out. Let's see. It's not necessary for you all to see the whole thing. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. Okay, yeah. I actually got a new thing. So, okay, see how these come out. And obviously, this is fair use. I would actually tell y'all subscribe to the channel. Say what you want to. They definitely have interesting things to say. A lot of this stuff is going to be provocative, though. Oh, shout out to Adam Williamson in Vegas. That means it's 1 o'clock in the morning for you. Yeah, it should be 1 o'clock. Well, yeah, but here's why I wanted to play it. I wanted to play it because, a lot of people, let me be very clear. When Pink Book, and she actually does a really good job of breaking things down, kind of like from this is what the news standpoint. She'll bring content from like radio shows too, which is something you don't often see people do. So she actually has really good content as far as, and another thing for people that don't really understand as far as why do I like promote women on top of dudes, right? Why do I do that? There's a couple of reasons that I do that. Number one, I'm loyal to common sense more than anything. People like to use these terms, red pill. And if somebody hears red pill, and I could care less about what somebody thinks, but all of these emotional responses. Like, you literally, it's just like, fucking Neo in the second Matrix Reloaded, when he was talking to Architect and he said, I can already see it, a chemical reaction, which is the onset of an emotion designed to override thing. And then, the TVs in the background were all of the personalities of Neo, were really all those emotional reactions manifest digitally, right? And this is what people do. But we're dealing with black people. Black people are overly emotional. We're very emotional. Like, unfortunately, the zeitgeist of the black community is a black female, whereby this is why you always got dudes saying, I feel, I feel, I feel, I feel. Also, we always got to call out the light skinned brothers that want to simp, because I'm always ever so vigilant on that, but the thing about it is, what I like to show is, here are sensible women that are married. Because you notice a lot of the women that I show that says the things that women don't like, they already got a man. Love Dorsey already got a man. Pink Book is married. I don't know if Love Dorsey is married or not. I know she happy with the nigga she with. And all these guys are productive guys, right? They may not fit the certain class that you're talking about, but they're all productive. Nurse Nerd is married. Yeah, all these people I don't know about Jessica X with her or whatever. I don't know. But for the most part, a lot of these women, they got dudes. They're not on YouTube trying to solicit for dudes. They got dudes. And then these channels are relatively small. So it's not like they're getting a whole bunch of, Uber donation money or anything like that necessarily. Some of them are, but some of them aren't. Like, they still have smaller channels. So you see what they're doing early. So the point is, I always have told you all, when I don't have these problems in real life. When I say problems, I mean all these women on some bullshit. Because understand, if a woman is on, I control my time. So I'm not going to be around women that are just constantly on some dumb shit. I'm not. Or if they are, they're going to be on that real passive shit where it's really not going to be talked about. And at the end of the day, if for whatever I have them around me for, they're fulfilling that role. Otherwise, it's not even about, I'm just not going to be around them. Donovan Sharp talked about that a lot. He talked about, like, if you're going to be my girlfriend, you can do what you want to do, but certainly if you do this, you're not my girlfriend. And that's how it is with me, whether I'm interacting with women from a business perspective or a romantic perspective. It has nothing to do with me being controlling. It's about, I control my time. I don't have this need to be around women just to be around women. I don't have that. And that doesn't mean I'm not around women. I just don't have that poverty like that, mindset like that. I don't. I demand a woman has common sense and operate on common sense. You can be a woman, but you're an adult too. And so everything that I say, there is not a single thing that I say that's quote unquote red pill ideology that does not pass the common sense test. I would challenge anybody that thinks I'm full of shit to show me how what I'm saying does not make common sense. And I would love to have that conversation with anybody, because that is what I'm loyal to. Red pill is not something so it was easy for me to deal with quote unquote red pill, because I've always been like this. My mentality's always been like this. Always. Even a lot of women in my own family I used to run a ground with, because they expected motherfuckers to just go with shit, and I'm not the type of person. I respected them to a certain extent as elders, but when shit they did clearly completely counteract, and it's beyond that I'm grown and I'm not grown, because as an older person, the shit they do is been bullshit. Whatever. Also, a lot of people make this assumption that, they hear red pill, they hear this, they think, oh, well, you hate women. So a lot of times, it ain't even necessary for me to bring a red pill, because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm loyal to common sense, and then common sense is universal. Adult common sense is universal. It is not gender. It's not more men or more women. Common sense is common sense. And what you have, to the point where we want to make it about gender, is you have the women are basically able women are basically being given the ability to cause chaos as a mechanism of class control. And that's actually something that I don't talk about, or at least I haven't framed it in that way. A lot of what happens is allowed to happen for the ability to control classes. The elite can operate a little bit outside of this. This is why you can have somebody like Kevin Samuels that talks about, well, he'd be willing to get married a third time. Because at the end of the day, folks with a certain amount of money or a certain class mindset, you know, they understand how to kind of compartmentalize certain things, whether it's finance or whatever. They're not going to necessarily be as against marriage necessarily. And then you got to also look at Kevin's age too. At the end of the day, he comes from a different generation, so we'll see what millennials are thinking like that when we get to that point. And you know, the oldest millennials are starting to get like, you know, 43, 44, 43, 44. 44. So we're approaching that soon. But everything I say is in common sense. This is why a lot of women will say I'm fair. I may be direct. They don't even say I'm harsh. They'll say I'm direct, but I'm fair. Because as far as quote unquote, I hate the term harsh, because really harsh, as far as I'm concerned, would ask what is uncalled, is it uncalled for? And a lot of things are said is not uncalled for. So shout out to D Thomas. Let's see, what did Adam say? See, I typically give them one chance in this space before I turn them out. Some too have good content. It depends, because I recognize that there's women that they bring their relation. This is why a lot of times I like when you know a woman's in a relationship, or you can see because a lot of times they use social media as a venting mechanism. So this is why a lot of these women delete videos and they delete stuff, because they use it it depends on a certain extent. I may give more than one chance. Because, you know, but at the same time, folks on Lee P show are convinced that it's black men who don't want to be married, but it's complete opposite. They're beyond oblivious. No, they are. And honestly, there's no excuse, because if you're going to say, Kevin, here's the thing, if you let Kevin Samuels on your platform, they were building a good platform without Kevin, so I'm not going to act like Kevin's the reason why they're known. But see, the reality is they are actually they're the perfect example of kind of like what can go wrong with like a purple pill mentality. There's a couple of things going on with that. Number one, and here's the reason why I brought up the situation between Pink Book and Courtney, and it's a little dust up. It's because Pink Book is not necessarily red pill. She's just telling it like it is, minus the bullshit. Okay. You know, she's talking to black men like she would talk to somebody that she's related to. Like she would talk to her if she had I don't know if she had a brother, not a brother or a cousin, where she's not invested in that woman benefiting from the fruits of a family member's labor. She's not invested in that. So she's going to give the game as the game is 100. You could call that red pill, you can call that whatever, but she's giving the game. And the thing about it is, at the end of the day, and I said it on the at the end of the day, that's where her and Courtney went in, because Courtney talks a good game. And Black who talked about this. Courtney talks a good game, but at the end of the day, it's about what you do. And then when you look at it in context of that show, there's that a lot of them, they're about image. Okay. I'm about the truth, no matter what the fuck it looks like, and no matter how the fuck you take it. A lot of them are about image. This is why the first thing Courtney did when she got mad, which I do believe, I personally think that wasn't her friend. But long story short, she wanted to say, well, what do you look like? Well, that doesn't matter. I mean, women like that. What do you look like? Shit is really irrelevant. People only say that when they can't really beat the argument. It really doesn't. Because if I remove that, then what happens is the goalpost is going to be moved further and further and further. And this is why I also like to show dudes, be like, okay, number one, you know, I don't care about showing what I look like, but I say, okay, Dennis Sperling saying the same thing. Why don't you have a lawyer that has kids, buy women, can get women? I think he was married. Why don't you get a millionaire lawyer and you get him on your shit? And then who actually interacts with black women and stuff, those black women, he's been overseas, he's got all those boxes checked. Why don't you get him and you tell him that and see what he say? A dude that's in his son's life, a dude that is engaged again, when he wasn't really looking to be engaged, which is interesting about this video, and because it's going to drive home a point. Why don't you go get the guys where all these check boxes y'all claim y'all want checked are already checked, but they're saying the same thing? They're not going to do that because they're about image. Yes, I'm not going to say that they're not about truth. They don't have some truth to what they say, but if it's going to be truth versus image, image is going to win out. And this is why certain people like Kay is there, certain people like Courtney's there, because it creates image. And here's the thing, it creates a good show. If your objective is to get on YouTube, have these conversations, and build a network that increases your influence, good job. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't have an issue with that. But at the same time, where I have a problem, and I made a joke saying, well, anyway, where I have the issue is there's certain narratives that they like to get put out there that doesn't even coincide with Kevin. Kevin agrees with Obsidian. And I remember when we had these arguments, Kevin was saying black men want to get married. And then a lot of black people in the red pill space was kind of arguing against that. Not arguing against that for different reasons, but they're arguing against that. So if Kevin believes most black men want to get married, the idea that the narrative that they're going to promote is the real reason is black men just don't want to get married completely shits on all the reasons that black men have brought up as to why they don't get married or why they don't see marriage as a viable option. That's a way of in-routing addressing that. So what you do is you get people like this who's been on TV and been on that. At the end of the day, this dude is compromised. Very few dudes are going to keep it real that's in entertainment. Yes, it's good for a social media stream or an internet show, or, it gives credibility. Sure. But the reality of the situation is the folks that are in entertainment, those are the main ones that are going to tell people what they want to hear because they're trying to build an audience based on their main way of making money, which is comedy, or making money, which is entertainment. So they're not going to outwardly say anything that's going to piss that off. They're not. I mean, you got your Corey Holcombs. You got, your Dave Chappelle, but for the most part, most of them are not going to do that. And there's real costs Corey Holcomb pays for, quote unquote, keeping it real. So anyway, with that being said, so my point is when I share women, that's for a lot of different purposes. But at the end of the day, for whatever I'm sharing, I agree with the point that they're making, unless I otherwise say so. Because some women I share in order for you all to be vaccinated to those types of women that are very attractive, but they want to sell you an idea in order for you to buy in, only to switch up. That's what they used to do back in the stepdaddy era, and a lot of people forget that. Well, he can apply what he wants. But at the end of the day, that should have come out. I mean, basically, Anton just wants to say it's black men's fault. He just takes the long route around it. That's really all he wants to do. Black men should just get married just to get married. And he's basing it. And you usually always have it's either a nigga from the Nation of Islam or usually it's niggas that got married pre-social media. Because even if I deal with dudes that got married post-social media, they don't, for the most part, they don't talk that stupid. So it is what it is. But this ain't about shitting on them. Let's see what they actually say. So let's go.
Your girl, Courtney Michelle, the Renaissance Belle. And of course, I am digging deeper a little bit with an awesome guest. As you can see, I have comedian Ron.
And I'm not about to play this whole thing. Like, I don't need to know this nigga's intro. I really don't. So
G.
The University of South Carolina.
So basically, he's giving all this, he's accomplished some shit. We got it.
Moved to Atlanta, kind of figured my life out. Been in LA for a long time, and I do cool stuff for a living. I remember that. I remember that.
Random. I don't know how that happened, but you used to be my top 8.
Hold on, I'm thinking Facebook. You said MySpace. My God, it's been that long.
Now look, I'm 21, so we.
MySpace, Jesus. Okay, yeah. That feel like a curse word. The fact you brought up MySpace. Wait, Are we saying MySpace? Are we okay to say that?
I know, right? Oh, okay. We'll shut that up.
MySpace is such a dirty word.
Well, it shows our age, so that's fine.
I mean, you probably got a Hotmail account too, Yahoo or something like
I
that.
had an AOL.
Get grown.
Okay.
That's at least over 35. Over 35 is Yahoo and
Oh, damn.
Hotmail.
Okay, I'm 21. So
See, and I'm telling you, and that age thing, and his whatever. Let's go.
I wanted to bring you on the show because, like I said, I've followed your career. You've been very, you inspired me a lot just because of your image. You've been able to maneuver this Hollywood scene, this comedic scene, and kept a pretty prestige, clean.
He's not big enough yet. So he ain't big enough yet to have to make the quote unquote sacrifices that motherfuckers talk about. Let's keep that real.
Image. And
Kept my nose clean is what you're saying. I get it.
Yeah. You ain't been on Gossip or the Shade Room.
Hilarious.
Black women won't even respect you if you a millionaire.
So I really appreciate that. So I'm trying to figure out, how did you do it? And was that something that you started with where it was like, I'm going to step out, have the.
Is that really what he said? Is that really what he said? My question would be, okay, Anton, so you saying that most black men are going to be millionaires? Like, I mean, again, that's just talking stupid.
This platform, but I want to make sure that my image is intact.
I don't think I had that in mind when I first started. All I know is like I had a strong conversation with God, and God was like, "Look, you're gonna change this planet. You're gonna change this earth." And
oh my God, this shit is designed to appeal to females. It's obvious.
Your path gonna be a little different.
It's obvious they shit is set up to appeal to women. By the way, too. Is well, and that's where and that's where the market is. This stuff, this is why I put that shit in the room, like, or with the roommates and stuff. It's designed to appeal to women. It's not really designed to tell the truth as the truth, because, like, understand something that Kevin's done is very unique. Most of these people are going to be way too afraid to tell women the truth, because the truth is, you're not going to blow up like Kevin did doing that. You're just not, because now, if you don't fit the look marks, they coming for you.
Very uncomfortable, and you're not going to fit in. And luckily, he didn't give me all the details before I started doing what I'm doing, because I probably would have ran and been a hilarious school teacher. But I said yes to my dream, and literally we're having this conversation because I said yes to my dream. All the other stuff came from a byproduct of me being a student of life, and also God touching my heart. And I was like, you know what? There's legacy attached to what I'm doing, and I don't want to mess it up, and I don't want God to look bad. So I feel like,
oh my fucking God. Okay, guy, we come on, dude.
He's kind of kept me, and also
like this is designed to appeal to bitches. I'm sorry, it does.
Allowed me to go down a different path than most, and it doesn't feel comfortable because it's not popular. But also know that, again, my legacy is much bigger than who I think I am, even with the whole relationship stuff. Like, if anybody on here follows me, I do a lot of relationship stuff, and I always had a passion for it. But some about quarantine that happened and being married changed my voice to where I felt like my wife was the stamp of my validation for the things I talk about in a relationship. Because her and I, we have a relationship where we're very, very vulnerable, and we talk about the ugly of our relationship. And I feel like as a couple, I'm probably go real deep, real fast, but when the closer and the sooner two couples get to the point of saying the things that they really want to say and the version that they should say, the faster you get to that point, that the more mature and the more love you have in your relationship. Because if y'all ain't telling truth and saying how you,
and understand something about the marriage thing, you see, folks, this is the secret that folks don't really want to talk about. That's a double-edged sword. What a lot of people in the purple pill kind of mindset want to do is they try to use their marriage to validate what they think. And what they don't understand is there's plenty, like, there is no, like, lack of dudes that are either have been married or are married that can tell our point of view too. So don't think just because you got a wife that automatically makes you, because then now we get into the submissive husband situation. Now we get into how you got in with each other. A lot of that stuff comes in because shout out to Black Huru, who is married, Kevin from Kevin Samuels, who was married, Kevin from Habitual Line Stepper, who is married. We got plenty, Bernard Riley, we got plenty of black men that are married. Even dudes like Ulysses become valuable in that because only, he went, his strategy as far as why he's not married anymore. And I have people I notice in similar situations. We have people that have been married that are not against marriage that can speak for us. Like we have more than enough people. So this idea that, well, you like this attack on the kind of single guy, that's not going to work. It's not. Because a lot of where we got what we got was we got dudes that were stepfathers. We have dudes that basically put the time in that told our generation the truth as far as the older millennials. This is not some stuff that we just get from random motherfuckers that don't get married.
You really feel and y'all BSing, you ain't never getting that real version of your person. But me and my lady, we talked the way.
B said, I don't know how much money he has, FCLA, but I appreciate it no matter what. Sorry, Ed, but this type of soft talk is how and why our light-skinned brothers fell off. Shout out from Senegal. Actually, no, it's not. Light-skinned dudes fell off just because it's kind of like a generational pendulum swing. Because you got plenty of dark-skinned dudes doing this. I mean, like, come on. Let's you honestly usually don't see light-skinned dudes doing this on YouTube, but let's go. I'm trying to let it play because that was one of the criticisms you all gave me. I need to let it play.
We talk like the way I talk around my homies. I talk to my wife like that, and she does the same thing for me. So we resolve the issue faster, and we have more time to like love on each other than sitting here being aggressively passive. And people be doing all that slick stuff, trying to get their point across instead of just saying how you feel.
Yeah, I understand that, and definitely we're gonna talk about that in marriage.
Definitely long answer, but that's.
My bad. Grown man business is one of the main ones because grown man business don't go with red pill. In fact, he don't even completely say he's in the space like that. Because he said that'll hamper your growth. Grown man business and other do. In fact, I would probably tag grown man business first. So this idea not really. That's the stereotype, but that's not really true. That's actually not true. That's the stereotype y'all like to put out there, but that's actually not true. I don't know why this isn't playing.
Yeah, that's how I got to.
Yeah, because I feel like we're kind of in a stage right now where a lot of people are, and men maybe are scared of marriage, see it as a hindrance. Then
Are they really though? Are they really though?
Yeah, but the spaces I in, they don't like it.
Well, I mean, one thing that Courtney kind of, this is starting to kind of get on my nerves now. You like this, you ghost watching bullshit. Like, ain't nobody gonna bite your head off. I got a list of people. If you really want to have a conversation, there's a list of people you can have it. BGS. Hell, you could even go to Jessica X's space. There's plenty of safe spaces. Hell, you can go on the lead attorney who ain't never been married. Lead attorney is living the he's living. I ain't even gonna throw labels on him. He 44, ain't never been married. Clearly a successful guy. You look at other attorney, Dennis Sperling. I can go list. The point is, there are Dr. Tiasan Johnson. There are plenty of people minus the kind of peanut gallery, and I'll put myself in a peanut gallery that you can have a conversation with. Hell, Glenn and Cameron don't really talk about relationships. Well, Glenn and Cameron don't even date black. But even there's plenty of people you can talk to. That's a safe space. But see, the problem is safe means you don't get your narrative off. Most black men are not scared of marriage. They are The problem with black men is black men are looking at marriage from a logical standpoint and not an emotional standpoint. They're looking at it from a business standpoint. And this is why I ask people, is it better to have been married and divorced than it is to have never been married at all? Because nobody wants to answer that question. I notice nobody wants to answer that question, because what I'm saying that is just the experience of being married better than just not having married at all, even if you add in the consequences, because you'd be a fool to not add in the consequences of a divorce. You'd be an idiot to not do that. But see, you're just supposed to, when they say just go with it and you scared, these are emotions saying you should just buy into it as an emotion. And it's interesting because the way this video is presented is if the dude said it. I didn't know Courtney said that. And see, this is the type of shit Pink Book would jump on. Which is another thing. Sometimes it's better for these women to say these things. I'm not saying they need to speak for us, but the reality is I'm definitely not going to say just because they're a woman, if they already going to say something that they can't say it. Shout out to Black Ken. Black Ken says, did you start or are you finishing up? It's 4 a.m. LL. This dude reminds me of someone on Boys Channel. They're usually passive, submissive men. This dude seems desperate for validation. I won't say all that. Shout out to $10 yet, because he ain't really said nothing yet. But yeah, a lot of that submissive relation, that you notice how nobody talks about the submissive black husband. You're not supposed to talk about that because that's going to make marriage look bad. Let's go. Coach Greg Adams is another dude.
Oh, you want to go there now?
We can.
Let's go. Okay.
I believe
talk about the image, but let's talk about relationships, because this is why I say this. There is a whole group of men called MGTOW. Men going their own way. Mm-hmm. And they are,
first of all, most black. So here's the thing. This is the thing I need to say. We are talking about black. This is where the bullshit starts. We are talking about black men. Most black men are not MGTOWs. Even in the manosphere sector, most black men are not MGTOWs. The majority of Coach Greg Adams' audience is white. The majority of Darius MGTOW's audience is white. These are white black men in general audiences, right? Most black men line up probably, I would say more towards Kevin, but I'd say half and half, but they're not on the MGTOW side. MGTOW was defeated in the manosphere. SYSBM is not anti-marriage. Igmore, quite frankly, has gone more SYSBM as, in the last couple of years. Technically, SYSBM is kind of won out a little bit, although I'm Team Igmore. So this idea of you saying MGTOW and you say these group of guys, see, that's bullshit. That's disingenuous as hell. That's framing the argument in a very disingenuous way. You all have yet see, and what kills me is it's like, okay, why don't you talk to a MGTOW content creator? Stop finding these random motherfuckers and actually talk to a MGTOW content creator, a black MGTOW supposedly. I don't even like. See, this is that bullshit. I don't know why it's taking so long to fucking play. Because if it was going to do this, I should have just did it with my Ethernet cable.
Saying forget marriage. Marriage is, because women are 80% likely to file for divorce and likely to take the kids, likely to take the house. They're like, why get married?
All of that is, number one, all of that is true. Number two, MGTOW's main issue with marriage is the law. which is something I completely agree with. The laws need to be adjusted, which you notice you never hear. You have yet to hear not a single goddamn woman. I don't care how much on men's side you are. I don't care about nothing. You ain't heard Jessica X. You ain't heard Pink Book. You ain't heard nobody say the laws need to be adjusted for the betterment of the society, and they're too balanced. They're not balanced. You ain't heard that. And remember what I've always told you all, where I say you ain't never seen a conservative white woman give back privileges that a liberal white woman has won out. It's so you ain't never heard that. So if these people really believe in marriage, then you would want to foster an environment that allows for marriage, meaning you would foster a fair environment. It's just like with the economy. If you want a healthy economy, you look to create things in the economy that actually creates commerce within the economy, right? But see, they don't do that, because that's something they're never going to speak on that. And this is how you know the genuineness they really have on marriage versus the real goal. I didn't want to bring Kendra up, but I ain't heard. I've been listening to Kendra's content, not all of it, not a lot, not most of it, not even a lot of it. But I wouldn't even say I've listened to enough to say I've listened to some of it, but I've listened to maybe like 10 hours of her content, and I haven't heard her say that. She'd probably be the closest one. By the way, Rolo Tomasi, and which is white, Coach Red Pill, I believe he's white, are both married, and said men shouldn't get married, which is something they never talk about. Some of the preeminent folks are married. It's BS. Obsidian is not against marriage, but Obsidian is a bachelor. It's not about fear. Obsidian is a guy you could talk to. Like, see, on this, Obsidian would be on point. See, these are the type. This is why I said we need to create purple pill space. This is actually where Obsidian would shine, because Obsidian would be able to counteract a lot of this bullshit. It may not be what you want to hear completely, but it definitely inoculates a lot of this crap. So again, she says she's in these spaces, but I'll challenge who she's listening to. I think she's just taking a whole bunch of hodgepodge of shit and just saying, I listen. Because really, I can't really get a fix on the type of people she's listening to. Because again, there ain't a whole bunch of black MGTOW channels. There's not. Coach, like, other than Greg Adams and Darius MGTOW, and I don't see why she would listen to a guy like Darius. So chances are she must be referring to Greg Adams. And at the end of the day, I mean, Greg Adams is big enough that he'd have a conversation with you. But what I don't like is everything I hear her refer to is really some shit white boys say. So it's kind of like, okay, you're listening to these white boys and then you're superimposing them on a black conversation, which in my opinion is disrespectful to black men, because there's plenty of black content creators and we've already outlined what the fuck it is very simply. But we'll see how they respond.
When the likelihood of our marriage sustaining is slim. So to those men, and you've been married and you chose to be married, especially in the industry that you are in, what would you say to them?
I would say they shouldn't be a part of the conversation, because the goal is to find a man who wants to be married.
Okay.
If they don't want to be married, then why are you in their space? Because if your goal is to be married and you're dating men who don't want to be married, then who's really at fault? So for the men that don't want to be married, there's nothing wrong with it, because I know a lot of women who don't want to be married too, and that's fine.
I can agree with that. Now, and see, that's why I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, and listen to it live and not listen to it based on a headline. And this is why, if you all are really going to comment on something, there's two things. If you're too lazy to look at a video, look at the comments. And I can tell you, based on a lot of the comments, I wasn't getting like a real good, because usually if the comments are real consistent, then you kind of get a feel for what was said. But if the comments were not consistent, which this one wasn't, but this is still a new video, I was like, I don't know if he's saying it as provocative as it's being said. Absolutely. And I agree with that. But here's the reason. She's in these spaces because this is why why women are in these spaces. Women are in these spaces is because it ain't a whole bunch of dudes looking to get married that are already not married. it's not a lot of dudes looking to really get married. Like, or here's the thing: it's not that they're not looking to get married. They're not looking to get married on the timetable that women want to get married. Think about it. What even y'all that's hardcore that don't agree with marriage, what we all agree, y'all may say somebody should never get married, but you got Kevin. Kevin is the preeminent guy talking about marriage right now, and I would argue Obsidian agrees with this, saying men shouldn't even think about getting married until they're like 30, like really at 35. We all agree on that. Ain't nobody talking about dudes should get married in their 20s. And I'm going to tell you right now, a big reason he may love the girl and it may work out the woman he dealt with. But you're not going to act like image don't help him. See, he kind of falls into this idea too. When you are married, you are seen a certain type of way. And it allows you to project a certain type of image. And so but I'm taking that out of that. Because outside of the image, and I mean in corporate America that you can get from marriage, now what's the value? And then that image, that opportunity benefit that you get from that can be removed in divorce anyway. But I agree with that. I agree with what he said. But I'm curious to see what she's gonna say. So far, you can't throw the light-skinned simping out. But we ain't even halfway with the video yet. Yo, every time I look.
When that legacy clock starts ticking and you think you collecting all these assets and these toys, like who do you give the toys to when you're gone? Are you just going to spend your time here just for you? So again, as a woman, you have the power and ability and authority of your heart and of who you are to say, this is what I need to feel loved. And once you say, this is what I need to feel loved, and he says, I'm not looking to get married, that's your answer. So we shouldn't even be talking about these guys. I mean, I get that's a part of the conversation, but
yeah,
you have all the power to walk away because
that's a part of I'm tired of this thing. That's a part of the conversation because these are the guys these women want. And that's what, and see, we can't have a candid conversation. That's the problem. This is where the bullshit, like what he's saying is correct. So and I've said this. What did I say about go get better men? Because at the end of it, if we're gonna make the argument that the problem is not you and your expectations, then go get better men. But see, they don't want to do that because they're starting to see that the men of value are the men that are not looking to play.
Years I've been live streaming consistently to YouTube and Facebook and everywhere.
We're kind of in a stage right now where a lot of people are.
Like, so now it's like, well, the real thing that they want is how do we get these niggas to do what we want to do? That's what she really want to ask.
And men maybe are scared of marriage, see it as a hindrance. Then
are they with them?
It's because,
and he did say in the beginning, he said, are black men really scared of marriage? And he said, are they really? No, they're not. If black men are not scared of marriage, you all are just not qualified to be married. Like, that's the truth. Most of y'all are not qualified to be married.
Likely to take the kids, likely to take the house. They're like, why get?
I would say they shouldn't be a part of the conversation because the goal is to find a man who wants to be married.
Okay.
If they don't want to be married, then why are you in their space? Because if your goal is to be married and you're dating men who don't want to be married, then
Donovan's not against SYSBM. Donovan's against MGTOW. MGTOW and SYSBM have nothing to do with each other. Because so I don't even know why people even confuse that.
Who's really at fault? So for the men that don't want to be married, there's nothing wrong with it. I know a lot of women who don't want to be married too, and that's fine. But when that legacy clock starts ticking, and you think you collecting all these assets and these toys, like who do you?
A lot. The problem with women don't like. It's a different dynamic though. Because women, it's a different dynamic.
Give the toys to when you're gone. Are you just going to spend your time here just for you?
Well, as far as toys, first of all, like that's another thing too. This idea of materialism, number one, your legacy, and this is why people talk about legacy as far as kids. Like, number one, you can have kids without getting married. Number one, just looking at canon. Number two, if you got the economics to take care of stuff and you're finding cooperative women, then that's whatever. But also this idea, marriage is not required for legacy. Even having kids are not required for legacy either. Although I think it's a big component, but so that's not an argument for marriage. That's not an argument for marriage.
So again, as a woman, you have the power and ability and authority of your heart and of who you are to say, this is what I need to feel loved. And once you
authority, that sounds like something to speak authority of your heart. No, you don't, because the truth is you men control relationships. So you say this is what you need. Well, if you giving up the pussy, dudes, that's what dudes really want. You again, what did I say in the last video? I said women are really out here thinking that marriage is a benefit to men. Like, oh, well, you like that. See, this is the game. No. What are you talking about?
You say this is where I need to feel loved, and he says I'm not looking to get married. That's your answer. So we shouldn't even be talking about these guys. I mean, I get that's a part.
But here's the thing: they're still gonna have sex with them. So that's all a dude wants. So I mean, what are we talking about?
The conversation, but
yeah,
you have all the power to walk away because again, you have full authority over your life and your heart.
But this is a good answer though. I like how he spun it because this is how he's saying it nicer than I would say it. But at the end of the day, this is common sense. He's saying if you want something, what he's essentially saying is you're not. If a man doesn't want to get married, he is not qualified for you because you want to be married. So obviously, if there is an outcome that you want and he is not wanting to be married, then he clearly has not qualified. So you shouldn't really be entertaining him at all. But the issue again becomes, but I like how he looks though. So how can, they don't want to know. See, that's not the answer women want. What women want, like I said before, is how do you get that nigga to want to be married? Because that's the nigga I want. Not look, because again, Kevin Samuels, all these women that got marriage proposals and they're saying no to. So the guys that are supposedly proposing, they don't want. This is where the anti-bullshit about you want respect from black women, you need to be a millionaire. That's bullshit. Look at these athletes and entertainers. Look at Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman just caught a couple of domestic cases and he's a millionaire. Whatever.
What you want for yourself.
Well, with majority of women wanting to be married and even men.
That's a lie. That's a lie. But go ahead.
And I think majority want to be married. And so the mix.
That's not true. That's not true. Not until if we're talking about prime, if we're talking about from 18 to 35. That is, and we're gonna say that's the prime like marriage range. Fuck women 36 and plus. Because we're talking about for legacy. Understand something. If you're 36 or 36 plus, you ain't, as a female, legacy ain't entering into it. Y'all want companionship. Marriage is not required a companionship. Courtney ain't gonna tell me she want to get married because of legacy. And a man would not marry her for legacy. And that's the shit that people need to be honest about. I'm not saying she's not marriage material. I'm just saying a man wouldn't marry her for that. A man would marry her because a man would marry her for image. That executive, like, I don't want to call it assistant, but that we'll call it a partner because it sounds better. But that executive partner kind of thing, like that Kevin talked about, that's the only practical reason. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. That shit appeals to only certain dudes. That shit appeals to older men. That shit doesn't appeal to younger dudes.
It's how it's like a subsection of men, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have women that want to be married, men want to be married, but we ain't getting married.
Right.
Why?
MGTOW has nothing to do with why people aren't getting married. So why are you bringing up MGTOW as its hindrance? But I'm going to tell you why. Because those are the niggas that she wants to get off that shit. Because those are the dudes that either have, I'm not saying they're all that, but see, here's the thing. What people will say about MGTOW, I'm not saying Courtney said this because I haven't heard her, but people always like make MGTOW look like these are these losers that are nothing and they're irrelevant. Well, if they're irrelevant, why are we even talking about them? Even in the context of black men not getting married, why not frame the argument like only 33% of black men are married and then a lot of that 33% is older black men? Take MGTOW completely out of it because dudes don't have to hear MGTOW to not want to get married. That's like even before MGTOW, that was a complaint that black women had that black men don't want to get married until later on. And they had the power to enforce that.
Why?
I don't have an honest answer, but I do believe we have a lot of generational trauma on both sides. And it's easier to blame other people than take responsibility for yourself. Like when I hear women talk about there's a bunch of F-boys out here, and I'm like, okay, so let me get this right. You calling him an F-boy. He eat McDonald's every day. He live with his mama, and he doesn't have a car. And you get pregnant by him, and now you're mad at him.
Oh, this nigga, this dude is I like it because you gotta do a certain dance. Y'all gotta get this dude his props. Y'all might want to go follow him. You gotta give him his props. This is a good answer. No, he didn't snap. These are good answers. I like this. Cause these are good answers. And I'm gonna tell you, him coming up here is a commentary on her too. So this is making her not look so bad.
Calling him an F-boy. Even though you have a master's degree and you have God-like discernment, but you ran all those red lights, got pregnant by him, and now you're mad at him. Does an F-boy really matter at that point? Because you were getting something out of the deal, you just don't want to admit it. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's all about finding somebody.
Oh, he's representing this, and I like it. I'm glad I did this because I don't be wanting to drill motherfuckers on these play-by-plays all the time, especially other black men. Especially light-skinned dudes. Yeah. B, you hear that? B, shut the fuck up. Talking about, like, trust me, ain't been no Angel Ramirez in a minute. These are great answers. These are great answers.
Wants to be married and have what you want. Because part of that trauma I mentioned, you have to work on yourself. For me, I know I've always been a husband, but my problem was, what do you do in the meantime until you find your person? For me, that's been the hardest part about the dating process. Like, I knew I was always a husband. I know that in order for me to go where I'm supposed to go in my career, I had to be married. And I had to be specifically married to my wife because my wife is dope. And I know that she is the answer to all my blind spots. And
I've heard Glenn and Cameron kind of talk about this in a similar way as far as your dream girl profile. So I actually like this. And I think there are a lot of black men. I think there are a lot, like Obsidian would like this too. And I think there's Obsidian would like this commentary right here because I think there is a lot of black men. And I think what this guy is talking about is like the avatar, the male avatar, especially him being black, but even if he's not black, because Kevin's a black man, so he got identified. But even if whether he's black or not black, I don't even think race enters into it because a lot of the stuff Kevin says is really universal shit as far as application. What he just said. If you say who is the Kevin Samuel supporter outside of men just want to see women get drilled, like as far as the Kevin Samuel supporter, he's actually here to help. That mentality is exactly what he speaks to right there.
The things that the parts of me that I didn't even know I had, but when I met her, I'm like, oh, I need to work on this because by nature I'm a fixer. I've always been a fixer because of my childhood.
B, shut the fuck up. B, shut the fuck up. Me and him are pretty much the same skin tone. Shut the fuck up. B.
Because my childhood junk, I've always been mama's little man, and if I don't fix it, then who will? It'll fall apart. But then I got older and I realized like I shouldn't be fixing. Let me get rid of my tool belt and find somebody who just want to be a partner and do life with. And when I met my wife, I realized I was the one who needed fixing, but I never knew that until I met her. So for those of you,
I don't agree with that, but we can let that go.
Who want to get married, find somebody who wants to be married. Go to therapy and study yourself and learn what you need. Because once I met her, I was in a space where my heart was open and I unpacked all my junk because from my previous, I had a real bad breakup. And as much as I want to blame her, I really should blame myself. I blame myself because I was the one who committed to the person who showed me that I wasn't lovable. And
I agree with that. I agree with that. And it's not about blaming yourself to let her off the hook. It's blaming yourself in order to say, okay, at the end of the day, I engaged in this. And how do I make sure I don't engage in this bullshit again? Exactly. I agree with that.
I was sitting in church one day while I was dealing with my breakup.
That's deep, Ron. And
my pastor sat out. My pastor, he had a sermon. And I felt like when he was speaking to me, everybody in the church just disappeared. And he was speaking directly to me. And he said, what's broken in you that make you commit to somebody who reminds you that you're not lovable? What's broken in you that make you commit to somebody?
Yeah, I've said similar things. What's broken in you that make you commit to somebody just gonna whoop your ass? And now I'm not trying to bring up dudes. Like shout out to Smurgo for being transparent, and a lot of these guys. You got NFL players getting their teeth knocked the fuck out, and these and fuck the money. These are big dudes, so you already know what and that was a light skinned chick that did that.
That reminds you that you're not lovable. And I was like, as much as I want to be mad at her, I got every red flag I need. I got every shade of red I wanted, and I ran every red light trying to make this thing right and prove this thing to myself. I
like that term red light because that is how these motherfuckers are doing it. Anyway, make sure you support the original work. Make sure you like the video, and give Courtney a shout out for actually getting this dude on. This is some real good shit. I give her just as much credit. And you know, obviously you got comedian Ron G. I'm probably gonna check out his Instagram because he is spitting some real shit. And I'm gonna tell you, you need purple. I ain't gonna say need, but purple pill people that are actually like talking the real shit. That's good shit. That's good shit. No, watch his wife not be black. I don't know. That's like anyway.
And people who didn't care.
Yeah.
And once I got rid of that toolbox and I forgave myself, which I felt like was the hardest part of the breakup, I got rid of my toolbox and that was a fixer. But once I got rid of my toolbox and I had my,
what did he say?
I got rid of my toolbox and that was a fixer. But once and I ran every red light trying to make this thing right and prove this thing to myself and people who didn't care.
Yeah. And
once I got rid of that toolbox and I forgave myself, which I felt like was the hardest part of the breakup, I got rid of my toolbox and that was a fixer.
He said I forgave myself. Yo, this is some mediocre tutorials level. You right, man. This is a good one. This is a good one. This is actually really kind of a clinic as to how to kind of take what we say and do it in a way that it's not like this is really good.
But once I got rid of my toolbox and I had my funeral, because when you break up with somebody that hurt you, you gotta have your funeral and know that it's never gonna happen again. If that door's still open, you still feel like there's a lip, you can't heal.
Say have your funeral.
You can't heal while that person's still in your affected space, calling or whatever you're doing. But once I had my funeral and I made peace with myself on what made me step outside of my, I'm gonna say my real nigga self. There's a part of me like a real nigga, like, man, what you doing? You stupid. I stepped outside of that to love on somebody, and I got my feelings hurt and I wound up in therapy. So once I resolved that with myself, then I knew I was in the space to get married. And I met my wife. I wasn't 100% perfect, but I was aware of where I was. I had a map and I took inventory of where I was. So when I met her, I still had some residual junk. And she reminded me, like, look, that ain't none of my business. That's you right there. You need to fix that. And I was like, you know what? Touche, I'm gonna work on that. And I went to therapy. And honestly, it's scary because my marriage is the best relationship I've ever been in. My wife is the best relationship I've ever been in. So as much as we should have relationship resume, like this one was the one.
With Squarespace, editing and adding pieces on my e-commerce site is quick and easy. So I can focus more on the...
But I was prepared, but it's also scary to like that your marriage be the first one.
Well, I can understand. Well, let me ask you this, because you talk about therapy and I'm one that has to go through therapy as well.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. And the fact this dude talk about therapy a lot, I like that. And he's talking about that. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot. He's talking about it from his perspective. Yeah, this is some good shit. This is some good shit. That therapy shit is some light skin shit. I ain't gonna lie, but you know, dark skin niggas ain't gonna really. I mean, Kevin talks about it, but you know, Kevin, like O'Shea said, Kevin is citric, so he different. But like, motherfuckers, that's a stereotype too, man. All light skinned niggas got therapy. Either they super hard, or I can see you light skinned niggas sitting down talking to some white bitch, you know, giving out your feelings and shit like some Falcon and Winter Soldier bullshit. Going knee to knee with another nigga. Hell no, I ain't got no goddamn nigga. Hell no, I ain't got no goddamn YouTube Premium, and I could get it, dude. I got Amazon Prime, Hulu, Paramount. Like, actually, I'm about to get rid of Hulu and Paramount. I got tools that I buy. Nah, fuck YouTube Premium. Because honestly, what I usually do is download the video and play it. But the problem is, that's not playing right for some reason. So I'm doing this. Anyway. And it's not, and I'm like, I know, be like, man, I know you niggas broke. Y'all can't afford $10. Nigga, I don't care. But no. I like how you peeped that, nigga. Y'all niggas ain't got nobody. All these donations, you ain't got YouTube. You'll be all right.
Because I had a lot of stuff to work on. And accountability is always important to me, and being able to be honest and transparent and be like, yeah, no, I effed it up. So tell me about why did you decide? Why did you decide to even think that, yeah, I do need therapy and there's something in me that's broken, that's attracting broken people? Like, how did you get that? Because with Black folks, you know, this therapy thing is kind of new to us. We're not.
No, that means that whoever he was with, that bitch must have did some crazy shit for him to be like, nigga, I need therapy. I'm broken. I gotta stop. You know what therapy is? That's SYSBM. That's what Niggas
just
don't
up
do
and
therapy. They
going to
just go, that's
therapy.
why me. Yeah.
What was it about your situation or what clicked that was like, I need help. I can't do this by myself?
All right. So I never want to talk bad about her, but the math didn't add up. The way I loved her, the way I felt about her did not add up to the energy I got back. And I was like, this don't make sense. And for me, I usually battle depression when my head and my heart in two different places. Because my head was like, this needs to work. And I feel like the hardest relationships are not the one with the cheating involved. It's where it just doesn't work. Because you have to resolve that in your head and your heart by yourself. And there's no reference point for when it went wrong. All you know is that it doesn't work. So you have to resolve it by yourself. And for me, my heart started to feel sick because my head saw like, we're supposed to work on paper. We make way too much sense. My heart was like, I love this girl past my own understanding. Like I was doing all the stuff that I would nevers. I was doing all my I would nevers, and it still didn't make sense. And my heart got so sick. So even when they're in my space, I didn't feel
that nigga did. Now this is light skin talk right here, but this is good light skin talk. It's good light skin talk. Cause all the key points he needs to hit, he hitting.
I feel like I was drowning in the love that I was created. Because there were it's crazy. I feel like if you have
so basically, nigga, you went full light skin and that shit didn't work. Nigga, you tried to use the entire Infinity Gauntlet and damn near you didn't wind up like Tony Stark, but you wound up like the Professor Hulk. And you need to get that arm fixed. I mean your heart fixed. I get it. You try to snap that finger and that black female fuckery beat that Infinity Gauntlet. Or maybe she wasn't black. We don't know.
You have big dreams and small love, it's suffocating. You ever been with somebody who has small love? There's not enough room in your love to grow inside their love because there's no grace, there's no mercy, there's no let me try to understand his why. There's just you did me wrong and you're at fault. And so for me, I'm a very sensitive person and I don't always remember what you say. I remember how you make me feel. And that feeling was always when I was in her space, I never felt like I could let my hair down.
Nigga, goddamn, like nigga, you ain't said nothing that's like, you know, all the key points you need to hit, you hit. Great job. But goddamn, nigga, like, goddamn, nigga, I need to let my hair down. I don't remember what you say. I remember how you made me feel. No, I remember what that bitch said. Okay. This nigga, no, it ain't babble. It ain't babble. Cause like I said, this is some shit women need to hear. He's actually speaking it in a language that they can understand. Shout out to Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. This would be a great interview. Could you imagine both of them? Because Mediocre had to be the light-skinned translator. I don't remember what you say. I remember how you made me feel. No, motherfucker. I'm like Loki. I got a printout of everything you said. I remember exactly what the fuck you said.
And I'm one of those people that I'm a student of life and I want to learn why I feel the way
and I get let my hair down, light skin translation, to trust you.
I do. And when I started going to therapy, I found out that a lot of my relationship stuff was triggered by my childhood stuff. And my childhood stuff, which was unresolved, was, you know, I'm a child of a parent that battled substance.
Basically, you had dear mama syndrome. And you was looking at that bitch through the eyes of your mama. And truth be told, I get it. Like, cause this dude ain't a dumb dude. This dude, if he passed the look good on paper, this. She probably wasn't completely wilding out. The way he make it sound like if she wasn't completely wilding out on him, like smacking him in the face, like verbally or something. But she just wasn't into it. And I'm gonna tell you, probably she needs to be pumped and dumped. You know, that's probably what it was. And these women. This is the type of dude that these women will say they want, but when they get a guy like that, don't value. Not because, oh, he ugly, or he ain't this, or he just, no. Not because of any, or he's socially awkward, none of that. Because at the end of the day, if a dude commits to a woman like that, remember, this is the type of guy these women don't like, because these are the type of guys that if you ask why did that didn't work, they don't have an answer for it. They don't have an answer for it. This will be a chick that called Kevin Samuels 5-6 years later. And I've seen his girlfriend. I'm going to show you his girlfriend. His girlfriend he got now is very attractive. This is not a dude that gets ugly chicks. She wanted to be for the streets, nigga. I get it. You couldn't save her. And I get it. You were committed. That's why we talk about trusting a woman so much. Because once you trust a woman and you open a floodgates to actually loving a woman, that is not a door you can close. That's like a dam, like breaking a dam, like a door. Let's say it's a dam and then you open a door and then the dam slams open. You can't close that door all of a sudden. You can't push it closed. So once you're committed, you're committed. That's why I understand exactly what you were saying about that funeral shit. I understand that.
And if you've ever dealt with that before, you know, when your parent is in their zone doing what they do that makes them happy, they usually, I'll say usually, but sometimes they lash out at you and they're like, you're not allowed to have feelings. So they go on with life, having a great day. And as a child, you're holding on to everything that happened like it was your fault. So a part of my thing as an adult is when I don't feel heard.
That's that black male guilt. Dude, that's that black male guilt. And then you start saying, well, I need to do more. I need to do more. I need to be a millionaire. I need to do this. I need to be this perfect nigga. I need to be this perfect nigga. You know? That's exactly what that is. Like I said, man. And all the other stuff, all jokes aside about the light skin talk, that's some stuff that women absorb.
It makes me shut down or have to protect myself. So even with my wife, I'm like, look, you can't yell at me. I tell her, like, you can't yell at me because it's triggering to my childhood. And I said, you can.
I'm not laughing. Nigga, you making us look bad, yo. Like, nigga, I was vouching for you. I was telling B to shut the fuck up, all this bullshit. And then you gonna validate that nigga in the end. God damn. Yo, nigga, the verbal abuse shit is the least of your worry. These chicks are swinging on niggas now, man. You got fucking athletes getting their teeth knocked out smiling. These are NFL players. Nigga, she said it triggered. Could you imagine if I put this on TikTok, you hear the trigger to your childhood? Nigga, that's why I need me a dark skinned dude, because y'all too soft. It's just triggered to my childhood. But then hold on, let me see what to call his face when he says that. But for real, I mean, he ain't lying. No, he's not lying, because a lot of this shit, you know, let Chris Brown, y'all want to joke, all jokes aside, you let Chris Brown say that shit, you know there's something coming after that shit, you say it again. So y'all can laugh all you want to.
So a part of my thing as an adult is when I don't feel heard, it makes me shut down or have to protect myself. So even with my wife, I'm like, look, you can't yell at me. I tell her, like, you can't yell at me because it's triggering to my childhood. And I said, you can tell me firmly if you need.
No, this is how you do it. Say, dude. Say, look, bitch, you cannot yell at me, because if you yell at me, it's triggering to my childhood and it makes me want to cheat. Okay? So it's triggering to my childhood. It drains my manhood. And the only way I know how to get my manhood back is some new pussy. I'm just saying. So understand, black men don't cheat. We just go get our manhood back. I gotta hear this shit one more time, because this is some good shit though.
Is when I don't feel heard, it makes me shut down or have to protect myself. So even with my wife, I'm like, look, you can't yell at me. I tell her, like, you can't yell at me because it's triggering to my childhood.
This sounds like some shit that like Jessica X would get a nigga to say. Jessica X be getting these niggas to open the fuck up. I'm like, this sounds like some shit that it just got like, yeah, it's okay.
And I said, you can tell me firmly if you need to, or I'm never above correction. But if you speak to me with a kind tone, I will always work on myself. You know what I'm saying?
That's that. So for all the ladies out here that may listen to this, now you know how annoying that harsh shit is. Now, speak on the typical black woman, and I throw in a lot of Latin women too in that. Imagine all the shit you can't say because y'all want to run y'all fucking mouth, especially when it comes to a black man. Do you realize this is what most of these females say? Oh, I can't talk to him because, you know, if I talk to him, that nigga goes on his period. That nigga acts like that. This is what these bitches will say. These bitches be, I can't talk to him. He said he shut down and shit. But no, I'm gonna let him get the last laugh because I'm gonna show his girl. So,
and that's my policy too. Like I don't curse in my comedy. So if I can do it for a living, why would I curse at you and explode on you when, you know, when I get paid to do this? So I try to be a master of my words and not be mastered by anything. So for me, It was time. It was time. I had to figure out.
I can respect that.
What was going on? Why did my heart feel so suffocating? And once I found out why, I was like, wow, there's a lot of what the person brought to me is a reminder of my childhood, and this is not an environment for me where I can grow in. So
this nigga went to light skin therapy.
That was the beginning of me unpacking all my luggage.
Could you imagine if he had a conversation with Kevin Samuels before he got his shit together? I'm sorry, Kevin Samuels would not be the nigga you need to talk to. Like, for real. That, like, straight up, especially, I would never send Kevin to somebody where I know is clinically. That should be, and I'm going to keep it real, that should be like a disclaimer under Kevin Samuels' consultation. If you're somebody that suffers from clinical depression, motherfucker, don't talk to me. That's not funny, but don't talk to me because I'm not gonna be sued. Okay, like that should be a disclaimer under, like, just how he has when you choose to come in this chat, this Zoom room, you forfeit your rights to privacy. It should be the same thing. If you suffer from clinical depression, do not try it because I'm not.
My carry-on bags. I had my 7 carry-on bags, and I had my little. I checked some stuff too, and I had carry on, and I was like, "This is way too much. I need to take this cup, Lord." And once I'm
not gonna tell a bitch. Like, I get what he's saying because I'm not gonna tell a chick start yelling at me. Like, and it don't matter if they black, white, or otherwise. If it's a white motherfucker that tries to yell at me, usually they're gonna get told because they need to know that that's not cool. But as far as a black woman, I'm just gonna get quiet. And I'm just gonna bounce. I'm not even about to do that bullshit.
Broke up with her, and I started making peace with myself. Then I started lifting the weight off of myself and all this burden. I feel like I had to fix everything. It's not my job to fix everything. It's my job to
I agree with that.
Partner with somebody while we do life and fix myself and all this burden. I feel like I had to fix everything. It's not my job to fix everything.
Exactly. And this dude is speaking straight facts. And the thing about it is, that's the argument. The argument that people are making is that it's a black man's job to fix a black woman. It's not our job to fix you. We're not your dad. That's a husband is not a father. That is not what a husband is. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, see, a father, there's a certain level of patience that fathers are supposed to have because you are a child. And that's a different relationship. But a husband is not a fill-in for a dad where a man has to be patient with you on shit that you should already know as an adult. A man is not supposed to be patient with you as a disciplinary problem. It's not. That's a different. So what a lot of this, and that's another thing too. Women are looking for dads they can fuck. Let's just keep that all the way 100. They're looking for dads that they can emotionally and sexually control.
It's my job to partner with somebody while we do life and fix ourselves, but not fix anybody because I'm not God. And God will let you. God is a very jealous God. So when you become God in somebody's life, you can't sustain what you create. If God puts it on their heart to change, go to church or.
What are you talking about, Reddit Nova? Jason Black is like, understand something, dude. Let me finish this video real quick.
Be soft or whatever. He can sustain it, but if you create it, you got to sustain it. And God is very.
All right, so make sure y'all support the original work. Like, seriously, it goes down in the comments. So, first of all, understand something that, as far as I'm concerned, when motherfuckers are out here calling somebody gay, notice a lot of shit I talk about, you don't never really see me out here calling somebody, what the fuck? You don't never really see me calling somebody gay. You don't. Like, you don't really see me out here. Okay, I just want to see something. I try to refrain from doing that unless it's something that's like absolutely obvious. I think black people get way too quick on wanting to call somebody, gay and shit. I'm not talking about you saying that for him, but talking about Kevin Samuels. And honestly, that shit kind of shows y'all really don't belong in the conversation. It really is. Nigga, most of our audience is between 25 and 44. We way too old to just be calling niggas gay because y'all and Reddit, seriously, Reddit, you're gonna get blocked. You keep doing it. I'm just saying. Straight up. That, you know, when niggas don't got the IQ to properly articulate their arguments, they call motherfuckers gay. I wouldn't say she's a wolf in sheep's clothing. I wouldn't go that far. A lot of y'all are really binary on certain shit, and I wouldn't go that far. I put people in there's degrees to things, and so I don't be on some, oh, she's a wolf and sheep. Oh yeah, I did say I was gonna show you all his girl. I want to give him that respect, because all jokes aside, most of y'all ain't gonna get a girl that look like that anyway. So I want to give the dude his respect, especially like straight up. So this is his girl. So for all you niggas that think that y'all like to play the, oh, he looks like my brother bullshit, and light-skinned women don't date light-skinned men, you know, light-skinned dudes understand that shit's not true. So we really don't argue about it, because what is there really to argue? I mean, y'all want to believe what y'all want to believe. That's cool. But it really is inconsequential. Yeah, she's Etrian. And his girl is Etrian. Now I don't know if he's Ados or not. Let me see. So that may be, but I will say he did kind of have kind of a Trevor Noah kind of vibe to how he was approaching that, but he kept it 100. And that type of shit is appreciated, because that take the red pill out of it. He did exactly that. Take the fucking we don't even need to have a conversation with those dudes. But see, well, I mean, you know, and it's funny because you know, could you imagine if light skinned people said that about dark skinned folks? Y'all niggas would lose y'all fucking mind. A lot of y'all would lose y'all goddamn mind. Oh my God, the racism, you bourgeoisie nigga, blah blah blah. Y'all would be out here crying. Absolutely, B, that's true. But I still want y'all to see it. All right, y'all. This was actually a good video. He gonna say, "Oh my God, that is true. That is absolutely true." He said, He gonna say you need to have emotional intelligence." That I would love for Steph Co to do a reaction to that shit. You need to have emotional intelligence. And she'll probably make some dig about him being light skinned because she can't help it. Well, Joel, my thing is her agenda is not relevant because her agenda is predicated on that entire show. Number one, and number two, you know, folk like I don't look, man. I don't worry about these chicks doing that bullshit. Y'all want some pure females, and that shit don't exist like that. Y'all got to understand, female nature is female nature. Point blank. Period. He said he keeps swimming in and out of life. I mean, and you know, and to be fair, I don't know if whatever, but the shit he was saying was straight facts. He's a yeah, but that was a good video. Yeah, you are B. You are tripping. I'm not even gonna repeat what you said. But I will say that as far as Steph Co is concerned, her problem again is not that she's not getting offers. Her problem is that the offers she's getting she doesn't want. Nobody guarantees you the offers you want, and nobody really guarantees you offers. So the fact that she's getting offers in and of itself, even if the offers in and of itself, that like nobody guarantees you that. And that's people want to talk about a guarantee of outcome. That's just not how life works. That's how a child looks at life. And also another thing too is, quite frankly, what I would tell her personally, because see, you got to remember, she lives in California. Like, she lives in literally like the worst part of the country to like be in her situation. If you live in California, like, I don't know what is with these black women, and California is becoming less and less black by the fucking day. So I don't know what's with all these, because you notice all these pretty privileged woe is me motherfuckers are out of California. Karazin, Paris, Steph Co now, they're all out of California. And we know that California is probably one of the worst dating markets for black women. It's just way too much competition. It's just, and when I say competition, it ain't just these chicks are there. These chicks are choosing, because California is a very liberal environment. I'm sorry. The first thing I would tell you is, bitch, you need to move. You a teacher. You ain't with nobody. Move. Move. You live in the highest cost of living area. Pick a state that has a good pay teacher to cost of living ratio that happens to have a bitch. Move. Have you been in California your entire life? Yes. Why? 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 Bitch, move. You're in California. You're literally in California is probably pound for pound got the most attractive people, like statewide. Statewide, California is probably at the top. Steph Co is not what you would call ugly, but but she's not ugly, but she's not attractive either. And she thinks she's slick with that little cartoon avatar. Because if you were to see that cartoon avatar, you would think she looks better than what she actually looks like. And the thing is, you know, when you look at a lot of traits, I mean, she's got nice teeth. You know, her face don't like have any issues. I mean, yeah, and I don't know what her body is looking like. She's the type of chick. She's got the type of face that if her body was banging, she wouldn't have these problems. Not with black men. If her body was banging, she wouldn't have these problems. She's got the perfect. When these niggas talk about it's about the body though, the face, like they talking about like women like her face. Like her face wouldn't be a problem if her body was banging. She can say all that bullshit she wants to. I don't care. I'd have to see that. She can say that I got cake. That you can't. Women say that. That don't mean shit to me. See what the fuck y'all talking about. If I end this, I think y'all bullshitting. Yeah, and I can tell you right now, what's her Instagram? Well, that tells me where you all rank. Well, that tells me what y'all where y'all system is. You know, I already said y'all standards are. What is her Instagram? And by the way, that shit kills anything. I'm glad y'all are saying that, because all that does is basically eliminates her argument about pretty privilege. That shit prove what you all. I look, man. I don't have to be right all the time. What you all are essentially proving is that her biggest problem is she's in California. She's in California. That's her issue. And that makes you dumb. Like, she's sitting there talking about she don't got pretty privilege. Bitch, you're in California. You are in literally the most competitive, and I don't mean to say that to be mean, but you're in the most competitive market. Why, like, what? Why would you do that? Hey, nobody's told. Well, I'm not leaving Cal. Why? Because clearly, when it comes to quality of life, if this is you will literally die in California on for what? The thing about it is she knows how to make herself up, but she knows how to make herself. I'll say this. She knows, when people say like upgradable sixes, she's like I would say an upgradable 5. Meaning, okay, I'll give y'all that she could probably upgrade to and really some people would say 4, but I'll give her a 6. See, the problem is you can't like rate Sweetie an upgradable 6 and then say she's like an upgradable 5. But see, the thing about Sweetie is I only rate people based on how they naturally look. I don't rate people based on once they had plastic surgery. And she said she's 36 years old. Looking at these pictures, because the thing about it is, what you got to understand is she's going to be dealing with people. Like, I see y'all are looking at them glam pics. I already know that. So when y'all talking about somebody can get it. But the thing about, but here's the thing. The reality of the situation is, if the problem is she's got the income of a teacher, but honestly, she would be the type of person that like an image consultant would probably do really good to like do pro bono work on, just to prove they know what the fuck they're doing. Because I'll say this, she definitely, there's certain, because these pictures I'm at now are like 3 years ago. So she would have been 33. I still ain't seen y'all talk about cakes and all that. So this picture goes all the way back. So she would have been 32, maybe 31. Yeah, man. The thing about it is, and this is where I'm gonna tell you this, and you know what's sad? What's sad is she's actually the type of person Kevin Samuels could probably legit help. Kevin Samuels could probably really help her if she could get over the fucking emotional bullshit. Like somebody like her, this is okay. So based on me going through all her pictures and shit, because a lot of that shit is her making herself up. So you're not about to. Oh, of course, alpha black couples will follow her. Of course, you will follow her. Yeah. Anyway, looking at this, and I'm not trying to be clinical. Here's her problem. And if I'm trying to be solution oriented, like straight up, she's not ugly, but you're in California. You need to be in an area that has more. I'm not even going to be stupid and say, oh, go to Alabama or go to Mississippi. I'm not even going to say that because that's hard to tell a California to do that. But what I would say, you need to seriously consider the Midwest. You need to seriously consider if you gotta glam it up. You need to seriously consider Jacksonville, Florida, or you need to consider Atlanta if you want to do the glam up thing. If you want to be in a California-esque place, Atlanta would probably be the place you need to go. Because like if you look at it, Georgia, you have that look. The problem, you have that look where you're more likely to get the guy you want, the outcome you want. You're gonna get closer to that being there. The problem is any nigga that is 6 foot, 5'11", them like just off that you're already in like obviously if you look state by state people well no it's gonna be balanced out because you got a lot of Mexicans in California and they're short, but you get what I'm so let's say it's 14%. Dude, the competition is too fierce. So if you have this mentality where you think you're gonna get a certain thing, that's just not gonna work. It's not. So for you to still, and I don't know if, but I think last time I heard her say she's still in California. If you're still in California, that's the first thing. The second thing is, I'm not even going to talk, no plastic surgery. If you got an ass, the best way, because I saw like kind of a thing where I can see what y'all talking about, but the problem is, and if you got an ass, your objective is to accentuate that. Her face is actually not that bad. The thing is, when I say bad, it's not really, it's just not something that's going to be something you lead with. It's just not, you're not going to try dudes on your face. But you're not necessarily going to repel people either. So the thing is, you need to, like, you need to make sure your waist is as small as possible in order to accentuate your hips, that accentuate your ass. Another thing you need to do is you need to do leg work because you need to have killer legs. That's what you control, and you could control that hip to waist ratio by losing that weight. Well, you know, I got Africoid body. You gonna have to get over that. If you want what you want, you gonna have to get over that. I'm built like a West African. You gonna have to get over that. I'm not saying you gotta be thin like a white girl, but what I'm saying is the smaller your waist is, the more it's gonna accentuate the quote unquote ass you got. And if you're trying to attract black men, that's what it's good, because she ain't got a whole bunch of chest. She ain't got, I ain't saying she ain't got nothing, but real talk, that ain't something that's gonna pop either. Now, real talk, if you really want to go there, what I would say is you need to go ahead and get the breast augmentation and then do what I said, and then now you got a banging body. Because she already, if we're gonna go on, she already got the ass, because I can see kind of what y'all talking about from like a front picture on the side. But I wouldn't even say you got to do all that, because dudes that are ass men don't care about that shit anyway. They care about that thing. Also, make sure your feet is on point, because niggas will deal break over feet. You do that, and then you got a great personality, you can probably, there's a solid possibility. Here's the issue. The issue is that's a conversation that would have to been had at the latest when you were like 30, 31. You're 30, you're 36. That's the problem. That's the problem. And you're going up against people like Avery Woodley. Now, in your favor, you ain't got kids. So if a nigga's out here and like, I just need to catch a chick that's got baby fever that I don't think is going to completely fuck me over, there are dudes like that. But are they going to be the dudes that you want? That's the problem. See, the problem is she talking about niggas don't got ambition. That's bullshit. Because if she likes how they look, that ambition shit ain't gonna matter. Because then they will talk about she's 38. Like I said, that's the problem. And that's why if you notice, Kevin Samuels goes hard on these women that are like 31, 32, because they still got a chance. But they on their last bus stop. When you 27, 28, he tends to go harder on them because they actually got a chance where they can still get the outcomes they want. That's the problem. You're 38. So you're going up against, are you talking about Avery Woodley's 38? Or are you talking about Morpheus? Or are you talking about are you talking about her? Because my point is she's north of 35. Yeah, Sir Anthony, every dude, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. California is a lot of California. Look, I can't speak, but Californians ain't necessarily like the face matters in California. That cake shit is some Georgia shit. So you need to be in situations that is going to accentuate that. It's just like, if you're light skinned, you want to be in situations that's going to maximize that. I mean, if that's really that important, to you, you said Steph Curry's 38. Okay, Morpheus. Yeah. So, I mean, you going up against women like Avery. Now, she ain't got kids, but the reality is at 38, that not kids shit ain't going to really help you. Because dudes ain't necessarily trying to put a baby in you either. So, I mean, the point is, so if she's 38, that means she was 34. She was my age at the time of her earliest Instagram pictures. That was the time you needed to do that. And that's the time you needed to do that. But this idea of quote unquote pretty privilege, and I'll give you a perfect example. I'm not trying to put nobody out there. I ain't trying to really disrespect nobody, but I'm going to just say it like that. When you look at Nurse Nerd and you look at she's married. Obviously she's a married woman, but when you look at how she presents herself and what she has assets as far as face, body assets and stuff like that, you could and then you go in her Instagram, because I've been through her Instagram, and you go below. The thing about it, man, you could tell Steph, and Steph Co has talked about how she's put herself in place. The problem is you are in California. Another thing too is you probably needed to seriously look at intercultural dating. The problem with Avery Woodley is Tyrone Woodley. I'm not dating no chick or no MMA fighter. I'm not doing that. Seriously. That's the first thing that I would have said. And she looked like she was that weight the whole time. I would have been like, man, nah, you need to lose weight. Well, I'm what's the fuck all of that bullshit. Whatever in your head to say you want this, I'm not even saying she's fat, but what I'm saying is you need to lose weight, particularly in the midsection, because you need to accentuate your ass. Because that is what's going to attract the black being you fucking want. Now, granted, are they going to be in a relationship with you? I don't know. This gets you getting dick down, though. And she's one of these types I say you need to be able to put it on a dude. Even if you need to take your ass to Ghana or Caribbean to get used to it, so you get the sexual sessions in so you can learn. And you might have to pay for that, but shit, a whole bunch of bitches are doing it. That's what I would have told her early on. If she was like 31, if I would have called her in the beginning, that's what I would have said. You need to know how to put it on, motherfuckers. I ain't saying that he ain't a pookie, but you don't know what that relationship is. He cheated on I guess he cheated on her and she left, but they got 3 kids together. She's not a UFC fighter. I'm talking about Ty. She's the ex-wife of Tyrone Woodley. I do, but I'll give her pretty privilege to a certain extent. But I agree with you. I think she over promotes that as an issue, as her issue, and I personally think her biggest issue is her. You're right though. It's her market. It's your market. And she would have been somebody that I would have been like, you need, but see, here's the thing. This is when that Valley Girl bullshit fucks you up. The truth is, she didn't get, honestly, the biggest tragedy with her is she didn't get the information. She tried to do shit on her own, and she didn't get the information that probably would have otherwise helped her out. She didn't get the information. Not really, Flip Cool. Steph will be all right. The tragedy with her is she is what you get when women are not told the truth, man. And she don't want to outright say that. But that's really what it is. See, you notice that Steph don't really blame feminism for her situation. She still want to blame the patriarchy. It's the patriarchy's fault. No, feminism basically puts you in a headspace to where you can't appreciate a dude. You can't really appreciate a dude unless every other bitch want him. Let me give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about, because you niggas think I'm playing. You niggas think I'm playing. I'm going to give you, this is an extreme example, but this is an example of what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to end this video because I got shit to do. No, I don't want to hear no jokes. This is a channel I'm subscribed to, but I like to see their reactions. Yeah, that Titans shit looks good. I wanted to show you all that. So my thing is, if the point is this idea that you can't get nobody or you don't want what you want, you basically wasted your entire, cause like I said, like all you had to do was move. You should have realized early on, if you weren't getting the outcomes you wanted to get, I mean, the world, like, come on, man. Like, you would have been 31 like in 2014 or 15. Are we serious? But no, what you wanted to do is play keep it with the Joneses. So this idea that you can't find nobody, that's bullshit. I mean, shit, look at what y'all saying up in this bitch. Y'all seen her Instagram talk about, oh, I hit. And I know my chat is full of a whole bunch of lazy motherfuckers. But see, the problem is y'all say that, but if you in California, you already know what time it is. So again, she should have took her ass South Carolina, Atlanta. She should have put her ass in an environment where she could win. But see, her ego probably wouldn't allow her to do that before. And you ain't got nobody that's really gonna tell her straight like that, you know, look, you can do what you want, but don't fucking get mad. I'll give you an example to like that hip to waist ratio too before I end this. And then I am gonna end this because it's too early for this shit. Now this is an extreme example. This is an extreme example, but this is an example. You see the waist to hip, and no, and this is her ass, by the way. I'm not saying that that's what you have to have, but I'm saying that that's what you should want to aim for. And that, I ain't saying you want to aim for that ratio. I'm not saying that that's what you gotta have, but if you're gonna stay in California, I'm not saying, I said that's an extreme example, but I said that gives you an idea of what I'm talking about. I didn't say you got to look exactly like that. What I'm talking about, though, is that gives you an example of what I'm talking about. You can't really, but see, this is what y'all don't understand. You can't get work done on your hips. A lot of that is how she's taking a picture, but you can't get work done on your hips. But whatever, that accentuated what I was talking about, not necessarily what I'm saying it has to be. And another thing too is we're making the assumption too that like we assume, see, that's another thing too, man. A lot of these women, they be wanting their egos and narcissism filled, and that's why they be comparing to other women, because they like, why don't I get what they get and bullshit like that. And so they want to be out here and be bitches like these other chicks. And now I understand it's like, look, you ain't got the looks to cash that kind of check. So dudes are not about to sit here and waste their time trying to approach you. And see, women like her actually fail. Because if dudes are going to approach women, dudes are not about to risk their egos over females that they think are not worth it. Yeah, that's true. But the thing about it is, though, California has a hyper, they may not be sevens, but a lot of these women are sixes. And the thing about it too is you got sevens, sixes, and then you got fives with bodies. So that's what she's competing against. She's competing against women that look like her that not only are younger, but they actually got bodies. That's exactly, Morpheus. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying to go get work done. What I'm saying is you like women will be like, well, why do I need to lose weight? You don't understand that when you like the thing, when I looked at Steph Curry's pictures, her hips, it don't look like she got a lot of hips because her hips are like linear. That doesn't work. And I'm not saying like, oh, well, this is what you need to be. I'm saying, look, you want the niggas like Derrick Jackson, you want niggas like that, then motherfucker, you gonna have to do what the fuck you gotta do. I don't know the fuck, like that's all I'm saying. This is the solution. Well, I shouldn't have to do that. Well, if that's the attitude you gonna have of what you shouldn't have to do, this is like I'm talking to a short person and I'm saying, dude, you gonna have to not have no other weaknesses. And then you're going to have paper. And then you're going to have to accept the fact that even with all of that, there's going to be certain people that don't like you based on your height. So you're going to have to also start dealing with people, learning how to detect the women that you like that are more likely to want to deal with you. Well, that's not how it should be. Nigga, then you don't want the solution and stop talking to me. That's exactly what I would say. Yeah, she ain't slick. I peeped that too. I peeped that too. But I didn't want to say all that. Apparently, she got a TikTok as well, so I had to check that out. I didn't say average women don't have no chance, B, but what I'm saying is average women that are looking for the top 20 or 10% of men. Are you fucking curious? We're not saying average women don't have a chance with any man. I'm saying average women don't really have a chance with the top 10% of dudes in a market that's hyper like that. Point blank, period. You're talking about getting fucked. Okay, maybe. I'm talking about actually what she's not talking about getting fucked and thrown away. She's talking about actually securing one of these guys. So you trying to have a different argument to make that work. I'm going on what she's saying. Anyway, y'all, it's been great. I appreciate y'all, sticking with me. We kept it at 100 the whole time. Got y'all a little morning Saturday run. But yeah, I'm about to chill out. So with that being said, you said telling somebody to move is saying she has bad chances. Well, it depends on what you looking for. If the chances are you want to get married or to a guy that's like, think about it. You want to get married to a top tier guy as far as genetic currency or economic currency. That is what she said. The fuck are you talking about? So at the end of the day, B, you would say stay there, and then she wind up 38, 40 like she is now in the situation she is now. That's what you would do. Stay, you be all good. Well, shit, ain't no problem then. Anyway, appreciate it, y'all.